Hi everyone, this is my Unit 3 lecture on Uncle Tom's Cabin. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe was the best-selling novel in the 19th century. Some critics have even argued that this novel is the most influential piece of fiction in American literary history. When the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act was passed, the North became legally mandated to participate in institutionalized slavery. Northerners were required by law to turn in escaped enslaved people from the South. There were numerous protests and rebellions against this law, which many saw as unethical, unfair, and antithetical to the promises laid out in the Declaration of Independence. Henry David Thoreau, a year before the act was passed, railed against slavery in his influential speech, Civil Disobedience. This speech has inspired many activists for equality and civil rights throughout the decades, including Martin Luther King Jr. In later chapters of Husband, Wife, Master, Slave, Lillian Wu details how the Fugitive Slave Act affected people like William and Ellen Craft. They were no longer safe in previous refuges like Boston or New Bedford, and enslaved people seeking freedom needed to travel further to Canada. Slave catchers were active in northern cities, and local politicians were sharply divided about their moral and legal obligations to help facilitate a law that many of their constituents found unjust, unlawful, and unethical. Suddenly, the North could no longer turn a blind eye to slavery. At the same time, for several decades, there had been a marked shift in religious sentiment in the United States. Many of you have commented throughout the semester on the overt religiosity of most of our course readings. Early American writing is extremely religious. America was founded by people many would categorize as religious extremists. However, the strict, unforgiving Calvinism of the Puritans had, by the early 1800s, been changed by evangelical and philosophical trends starting in the 18th century and continuing into the 19th century. Perhaps you have noticed a difference as our course readings have progressed. On the one hand, philosophy, such as Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke and Romanticists like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, became influential in literature. We see their influence, Locke's influence in the Declaration of Independence, and we see Rousseau's influence in Emerson's Meditations. On the other hand, a more emotional and personal connection to a kinder, more forgiving version of the Christian deity had taken root in many places of worship. In the early 19th century, there was a proliferation of abolitionist literature intended to shake Americans, white Americans specifically, out of their complacency about slavery. There were documents detailing how enslaved people were sexually and physically abused, how enslaved children were mistreated, and how enslaved families were forced apart. At the same time, a pro-slavery argument arose that people of African descent were less human than those of European descent. According to this theory, enslaved people of African descent did not feel these abuses. In response, abolitionist anti-slavery literature strove to demonstrate that people of African descent felt the same hurts and heartbreaks as Europeans. Enter Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1853. Harriet Beecher Stowe was part of a prominent political and religious family of abolitionists. She had toured the South and spoken to several enslaved people. She was greatly affected by the plight of enslaved people, especially women, and wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin to sway the hearts and minds of her fellow white Americans to support the abolitionist cause. This is a political novel. This is a novel that was intended to change people's minds. She wrote her African American characters to be as sympathetic as possible. She wrote them to be literary tropes that would be recognizable for her white readers. White Northern mothers wept with recognition at the maternal devotion of Eliza, leaping across ice floes on the Ohio River with her infant child, whom she was saving from being sold. Other readers identified Tom's martyrdom with Jesus' sacrifice. In the novel, Tom gives his life to save these two women. And he is a noble, principled, and ethical character. Many critics over the years have critiqued Uncle Tom's Cabin for its stereotypical treatment of black characters and its overly sentimental passages. This is a fair critique. However, bear in mind that Stowe wrote a political novel that she intended to help hasten the end of slavery. She wanted white readers to identify emotionally with the black characters. She wanted to end the gap between them and us in her readers' minds. And she did. While historians and literary critics disagree about the impact of this book and its influence on igniting the tinder that would lead to the Civil War, it is undeniable that Stowe's novel caused a surge in sentiment for enslaved people and increased the popularity of the abolitionist movement. The copyright laws in the 19th and earliest 20th centuries were very weak in the United States. As a result, many unauthorized offshoots of Uncle Tom's Cabin were created. Some of these kept the original nature of the text, but many others, especially during the 1880s through 1920s, when there was a resurgence of white supremacist activity and propaganda across the country, many of these productions caricaturized the character of Tom. These negative portrayals of Stowe's original character, who was noble, principled, and brave in the novel, led to the derogatory term that is often associated with the title of this novel.